Markie?
Yeah. Tom Dempsey live from the White House this morning. Thank you. I want to talk more about this now and bring in former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee. He's also President-elect Trump's nominee for U.S. Ambassador to Israel. He joins us now. Soon I'll have to stop calling you Gov and start calling you Ambassador, sir. Thank you for joining me, per usual.
Well, thank you, Markie. We got to wait to go through the Senate confirmation, but hopefully that will happen over the course of the next few weeks.
Yeah, here on the horizon. I was just talking about this with Tom. Members of Congress, Democrats included, were flabbergasted yesterday when Mayorkas and Wray no-showed their annual hearing about threats to the homeland. How did you read that choice from them, sir, especially with less than 2 months before a new administration?
Markie, it is an incredible outrage, and it's an insult to the elected officials who are given the constitutional authority of oversight of these agencies. For them to just thumb their nose at the people that they have to answer to on behalf of the American people is not only outrageous, but let's put it in perspective. Peter Navarro just served a prison sentence because he wouldn't go and talk to the January 6th committee, but he had executive privilege, and that's what he claimed. They said, no, he was in contempt of Congress, even though many other people have also exerted executive privilege, including former Attorney General Eric Holder, and was held in contempt of Congress. Never served a day, never had a fine, never got in any trouble. So let's put this in perspective. You've got one cabinet secretary and an FBI director who just say, no, we're not going to go talk to these people. How in the world do they think they should still get a paycheck? This is absolutely an insult. And I'm glad that it was a bipartisan reaction of anger and frustration, because it should be. This is a constitutional snub. These guys ought to both resign, be fired, whatever it takes, but they are absolutely derelict of duty.
Yeah, I know they're asking for a classified briefing instead. I don't doubt that much of what they know has to be close to the vest, but why not just show face and tell the American people that very thing? I feel like it maybe sows more doubt and fear. With this latest news, it does appear that the war in Ukraine is on the verge of escalation even further. How does this change, this missile that was launched yesterday by Russia, how does that change day one priorities for the incoming administration, especially considering that Trump has said he'd end this war by Inauguration Day?
Well, let's hope and pray that he can and will. And I honestly think he'll certainly do a better job of getting this resolved than this administration. This all happened under Joe Biden's watch because I think the Russians sensed weakness. They sensed that there was not going to be any type of reaction that they couldn't handle. And the result is that we not only have the Ukrainian mess, but we've also got the one where Hamas has overrun the borders of Israel, massacred over 1,200 people, still holding hostage over 100, including 7 Americans, have been holding those hostages for 400 plus days, and it's still not resolved. The Iranians are funding Hezbollah, the Houthis, Hamas. They're continuing. Even this morning, I get notices of the rockets and missiles being fired into Israel, into civilian areas. So for me, January 20th can't come soon enough, not just because my candidate of choice won, but I want to see this world return to a place where foreign governments who are bullies are afraid to take those actions because they'll have a president who will respond with force.
Last question, you bring up that come January 20th, you're about to play a big role in hopefully bringing this conflict to an end. What's the biggest hurdle that you've got to jump? What is your day one priority?
Well, for me, it's carrying out the responsibilities that are assigned to me by the president. An ambassador doesn't get to make policy. He's there to represent the policy. An ambassador serves at the pleasure of the president. So I'll have to find out what will give him pleasure. And I think given his first 4 years, he was the most I think, remarkable president when it comes to the Middle East and particularly to Israel. The Abraham Accords were historic. People didn't give him enough credit for that, which really was a breakthrough in Middle East relationships. He moved the embassy, recognized the Golan Heights, recognized Jerusalem as the eternal capital of the Jewish state. I look for great things from this president. It's going to be an honor to be able to represent the continuation of the Abraham Accords going forward.
It's been 412 days since the October 7th massacre. We'll see where the new president takes it from here. Governor.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.